Honkai Star Rail is an amazing anime turn-based RPG taking inspiration from the Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy and Pokemon series in a story-driven adventure of calamity. Defeating eldritch horrors, exploring the vast unknown, and upholding the ever-sacred technique of Bonko Bye-Bye are thrown at our face, so naturally we'll need the power and ability to wield our bat to our fullest potential. But what happens if we delete not just 33%, but 40% of our moveset this time? How much more grueling do our lives become? Can you beat Honkai Star Rail without any skills? Here's how it goes down. Any action done with the E key is strictly forbidden. In the controls, we see that the E key is bound to the techniques action, but we're getting rid of more things than that. If you have to use the E key, we're not using it for this challenge. Of course, if the game ever denies our attempts at fruitless achievement by presenting an impossible obstacle, we'll keep a running total here. And since Honkai Star Rail functions on a quest system similar to Genshin, we're only going to tackle the space station in this episode. And one final thing. Is that an auto system, Naz?
You did that.
Oh, it is. Okay. What's this?
No, the Antimatter Legion did it.
Oh, no, come back.
They completely invaded the
I haven't played Honkai once in my life before this. But before we begin, here are a few of you viewers I want to shout out. If you want to have the chance at being up here, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'll be sure not to do repeats. With that out of the way, let's see if we can beat Honkai Star Rail without skill. Wait, no, that's not what I mean. What are you talking about? I'm an excellent game. We start our adventure by cosplaying a violinist while the world ends around us. As Kafka, we need to infiltrate the premises and free the Stellaron. Of course, security finds out and their only purpose in life is to... No, we can't do this already. No! Right from the get-go, just like our Genshin Without Skills video, which you can check out up here, they expect us to be a baby and think we're going to fit the circle in the square hole. Of course, I'm old enough to realize that that is exactly what I want from this life, but with literally no other option, we're forced to expend one skill cast. We blow up the other guys in an ultimate that looks very akin to another's, and we Thanos snap our way to our second playable character, Dog Girl. We learn about the action stars that we're not ever going to use, hopefully, and make it to our first boss battle. I shouldn't have to say this, but if you ever get your ultimate, make sure to use it immediately. You do get energy from enemies attacking you, so literally spam the ult key if you need to. Obviously, normal attacks are our main source of damage, but if you're really content with dealing 13 damage points per attack, that's on you. This is still technically the tutorial, so we wipe these... Oh, come on! We wipe these spots clean and make it to the innermost sanctum with the Stellaron, Cancer of the Stars. She shoves it directly into our chest, giving us that great speech, and we black out. We wake up and find two new people. National Cereal Day and 5-star boy that's actually a 4-star, but people for some reason treat him like a 5-star. Seriously, you'd think Kaveh would have a similar treatment after being in Hoyo's basement for a year and a half, which is sad because, unironically, Kaveh is a better character than Nahida. Maybe girl supremacy. 4.5 star leaves us to fend for ourselves, which is totally okay because we found the ultimate weapon. We walk forward and find the security again. Wait, hold up. Wait, so the girl we played before, Kafka, is evil. And she infiltrated the spaceship to steal the Stellaron, but these guys aren't actually security, but an entire third party of Abyss enemies that we, now the good guys, are fighting? Huh? One mental breakdown later, and we learned the type advantage system, which wasn't necessary before because everything was weak to... We find an elevator that we're supposed to take down to the bottom floor, which again isn't necessary because we could just... Okay, I'll stop. And we're introduced to yet another tutorial featuring National Dress in Blue Day's skill. Okay, another tick added. We also finally use No Skills Ultimate for the first time, which brings about an interesting dilemma. Just like Tartar Sauce, you can use his ultimate in two different ways, single target or AoE. However, the AoE version is activated with the E key, exactly the same as any other skill cast. It may not technically be forbidden, but I did say in the intro, if you have to use the E key, we're not using it for this challenge. So yeah, we're just gonna stick with single target for now. We make it to the elevator, but 4.5 comes along and tells us it's broken. He joins our party and we set off to find Arlon. All will be hit with another roadblock. Are you serious? Yet another instance of skill usage just stops us, but in a different way than normal. This is called a technique. It's like you strike first, but with a huge ice block or something. Nonetheless, the tutorial forces us to spend yet another skill cast, but the battle after that is easy enough. The worst part about this is that all the other techniques are really handy, like No Skill's ability to heal on the spot. But rules are rules, and we gotta stick with them. We finally find our man Sino, who tells us that the elevator isn't broken, that we should have gotten a card of some sort. Which National Crown Roast of Pork Day had all along. Thanks a lot. Alright, that's the elevator unlock. You coming? Nah, somebody's gotta man the station here. No, please don't go. We find our first light cone, which I now know what they do, and we make it back to where we once was. Except, surprise, enemies! Who would have guessed? A big guy and two smaller guys stand in our way. I suggest going for the big guy first. The longer he's on the field, the more dangerous damage he'll dish out. Like this one bow charge attack that forces us to block it. With one skill cast accounted for, we fail so bad at the rest of the fight, we need Pizza Cutter to come save us. But she is our first 5-star, so I'll refrain from bad-mouthing her otherwise. Once we descend, we finally make it to the first hub area of the game, where we're introduced to gambling. Before I show you just how epic my pull was, if you're enjoying this so far, please be sure to like, sub, and ring that notification bell to stay updated on future content. Also be sure to check out my Twitch at twitch.tv/gameperson06. Not only do I play the games you see here, but I play a lot of other fun games too, like Valorant, Genshin, and It Takes Two Solo. And one more thing, we have our Discord, the Gamer Person Party. Come hop in and have a place to talk with other people with similar interests. There's personalized notifications, chat rooms, and even a suggestion channel where you yourself can contribute to the growth of our channel. Come join the Gamer Person Posse. I'll be ecstatic of your arrival. I got nothing. A couple 4-star light cones and Serval. I think you're supposed to get her considering we get a whole tutorial on Eidolons. We're disregarding this rigged lottery. Serval coming actually is pretty helpful. As you know, normal attacks are so feeble that so far, we've only been able to hit one guy at a time. Some ultimates like National Employee Appreciation Day hit everyone, but Serval so far is the only one who can multi-attack. Try and target characters who can hit many people at once. Wait, hold up. Actually, her Eidolon does help with her AoE.
Perhaps I treated you too harshly.
I guess now that we're building characters, I'll go and tell you the downs of this challenge, because in all honesty, what are the ups of it? First, we deal no damage. Come on, it's a normal attack. Pretty straightforward that it won't deal massive damage. Secondly, we won't have any access to buffs, shields, or any other statuses to help us out. Maybe later we'll get someone who can heal with their normal attack or give a team-wide buff with a burst, but right now, we're sitting ducks. Third, that's really it. That's the specialty of Honkai in comparison to Genshin. Over there, you had to sweat your head off memorizing team rotations, reaction timings, and even cooldowns so you'd get, what, one extra wish? But here, it's a lot more brain power. Planning in advance, equipping the right cones, and choosing the right attacks in a battle that literally waits for you makes Honkai a very relaxing, easygoing game. Now that I'm playing through both with such a hard challenge, I think you guys can guess which is now my fave. It's still Genshin. I'm sorry, it's still Genshin. Now we've got to make it to platform 9 3/4 to take the train out of here. Let's go. Oh, who are you? Well, I'm fairly sure this guy looks weak enough.
So this can't be.
Let's rock! The show must... just getting started.
We get our butts thoroughly handed to us by this beast, and we politely decline any further confrontation. After testing Himiko out on much more compliant test subjects, I found out just how busted her victory rush is and how amazing breaks are in general. Whenever you deal 3 super effective attacks, Himiko steps in and cooks up a 5-star pizza out of your enemies. On top of that, if they somehow survive, they'll be stunned for one more turn and take a bit of damage to boot. Take advantage of this by looking to the enemy catalog or by seeing the tiny icons above them on the field. Elements are very important, which is exactly why boss fights are so infuriating. Yep, we're thrown right into our first big boy looking Cyclops over here. The fight consists of 2 phases. The first is where he puts his hands up an orb to block damage, and the second is when he face plants and when you can actually get your actual damage in. You'll need to fully break all 3 parts for him to reveal himself. Of course, since Himiko is a complimentary 5-star, she can break everything, while every other character can break exactly one of the parts. The MC can break the engine, 4.5-star can break the left hand, and National Speech and Debate Education Day. Hey, where is she? Oh, right. I replaced her for Serval, but since Serval came from gambling, we're not supposed to have her, and thus her elements. Pro tip, bring in the right elements, please. Once you do, I'm fairly sure you know what to do. Keep breaking as much as possible, especially since they all will fuel Himiko's victory rush that then deals even more breaking. Keep an eye out for your ultimates too. Remember that your characters can get energy if the big boy hits you, but only the character that actually gets hit. Once the face is open, just normal attack it. While attempting to use your ultimate, the big guy really isn't going anywhere, and your attacks will now deal massive damage. Once you kill his face, he gets another one and goes to his 3rd and 4th phases, which are exact rehashes with slightly worse attacks. There is probably a way to stun the beam attack if you break his engine fast enough, but if you feed your characters enough knowledge, you can take the damage. Well, we did, not Himiko over there.
You ever heard of a snipe?
Snipe?
We introduce our buddy to a snipe and defeat him with the power of Deus Ex Machina, finally ending our first boss. After that, we meet the Doctor, which is having me think, man, how many blatantly incorrect things can I say in this video? Try out Honkai's version of the Abyss and board the Astral Express to take us on to our next adventure. And since we're officially off the space station, that means we've officially ended today's episode. Thank you so much for watching until the end. I appreciate your determination. If you like this challenge and want to see me do more, please leave a like, sub, and ring that notification bell for more. Also be sure to check out my Twitch at twitch.tv/GamePerson06, where I not only play the challenges you see here, but also jam out with other games like Valorant, Genshin, and It Takes Two. If you're going, consider visiting the Game Person Party, where you can chat with friends, hang out, and make the server a better place. And finally, make sure to check out these YouTube creators. Their challenge videos are amazing, and they inspired my own. Until next time, have a good day, night, etc.